Hi. Let's talk about mental health. Because it's May 1st, which, hey, happy International Workers' Day, and the start of Mental Health Awareness Month. Are you aware? Yeah, I wanted to talk about what mental health means, and also what mental health doesn't mean. Yeah, let's get into it. Generally speaking, mental health is something that everyone has. I think a lot of times we use the phrase mental health and people are like, oh, that means that's a euphemism for crazy people. No, everybody has mental health, just like everybody has physical health. Everybody has to tend to their physical health the same way that you have to tend to your mental health. It's not that big a deal, and I don't understand why there's a difference in how we tend to these things. But yeah, mental health is definitely something everybody has to take care of, and it's very much linked to your physical health, and environment as well. How you sleep, what your level of body activity is like, what you eat, your environment, the environmental stressors that you have to deal with, all affects your mental health. RE environmental stressors. I feel like this is why marginalized folks need to really be taking care of their mental health, because we're talking about the real environmental ramifications of what anti-blackness looks like, what homophobia looks like, what transphobia looks like. And those are real heavy environmental stressors. And so for marginalized folks, I kind of feel like mental health should even be even more of a priority, a self-care priority. But that's just me preaching to the choir probably, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, there's also, generally speaking, positive and negative, or maybe not negative, but challenging aspects to mental health, right? There's positive mental health issues like having a great self-esteem, and then there's like challenging mental health issues like having a poor self-esteem or poor mood or mood disorders or whatever the hell, you know. It's weird to me that it's when things are challenging or have gone awry that we start to think of our mental health. And mental health is something to be tended to every day, not just on rainy days. Sunshiny days, snowy days, cloudy days, poopy days. Gotta look out for your mental health. What else about it? Oh, things that mental health is not. Mental health challenges are not a sign of weakness. And I feel like that's something everybody says and everybody agrees, but then acts in different ways that like reinforce some real ableism around mental health. And so like I just really want to break that down. Mental health challenges are not weaknesses. They're not a cultural failing, right? You're not Filipino or not Black enough because you're having a mental health crisis. It's not a cultural failing. It's not a spiritual failing. I think that that's something that's going around right now. I feel like there's an uptick in weird positivity culture. Keep it positive at all means. And if you're not keeping it positive, then you're negative and you're failing. And it's all kind of like linked into a weird new age, ambiguous new age spirituality, if that makes any sense. Yeah, mental health challenges are not a spiritual failing. I feel like one time somebody told me that, oh, you're not depressed, you're just an empath who is choosing to take on other people's melancholy. I'm like, oh, Well, shit, let me stop taking this Paxil then and make better decisions, right? No, don't listen to that fucking gaslighting. Your mental health challenges are very much based on physical composition and environmental stressors. It's not about your failing as a spiritual warrior. So I just want to say that because that is something that I'm dealing with a lot in my woo-ish queer communities. That ableism is real. Also, mental health issues is not a euphemism for mental illness. I feel like I said that already. But for real, like, mental health issues are basically anything to do with your mental realm. It doesn't mean, it's not necessarily positive or negative. It's just a phrase that means what's going on in your head, for better or worse. Yeah. So to that end, I just would want to say that mental health issues are not always a negative thing, in that when we think about neurodivergent brains, sometimes there's gifts that neurodivergence brings to the world. Just like, for example, racial, ethnic, sexual diversity makes us a fuller society because we have so many different viewpoints, unique viewpoints represented. Neurodivergence makes us a fuller society as well. Like, there are special gifts that folks bring to the world. I feel like, for example, depressed people often have a really real concept of what's the word? Not pessimism, but pragmatism, right? I feel like autistic people often are the leaders in terms of recognizing patterns, ideating about a thing before you have to actually even build a model, spatial learning and visual stuff. Yeah, I feel like different brains see the world differently, and that has to matter for something in terms of pushing us forward. I don't want the same people thinking about the same things, doing the same things. That's static and stagnant and weird. Why do y'all value that so much? But yeah, so RE mental health questions. How are you taking care of your mental health on a day-to-day basis? And with it being May 1st and the start of Mental Health Awareness Month, what can you try today that might improve your mental health in the future? What's one thing that you could do today that would improve the mental health of future you? Yeah, something to think about. Anyway, happy May Day. Hope you have a fruitful Mental Health Awareness Month. And I love you. Smell you later. Boop, boop, boop.